videos. Somebody says, how do you acquire a buyer investors list? Just become obsessed and watch the videos that I put out.
Very simple, right? Welcome to Steps to Success. My name is D'Angelo Simmons, and we believe as long as your heart is in every step, then you are already a success on your journey. Guys, this is a very special episode because Maxwell was one of really the first people that I started learning wholesaling real estate from. So I initially heard about wholesaling real estate from Mark Whitten back on the Breakfast Club in 2018, back in March sometime. But I actually, when I Googled it and when I YouTubed it, the first person videos that I really started watching, was Maxwell. And he had a great series he used to do on Mondays and Wednesdays or Thursdays. On the Mondays, it would be like a mindset thing. And then on Wednesdays or Thursdays, one of those days, he would have someone in the industry, come in, speak about their strategies that they're doing, or he'd speak about his strategies that he was doing. And I was always listening to these, while I'm walking around the parking lot at JD Byrider, while I'm starting cars and while I'm shoveling snow, while I'm either, freezing hot or I'm, freezing hot. Freezing cold or I'm super hot outside, I was listening to these videos. So this guy definitely made a major impact on my real estate investing foundation. So enjoy this video. A lot to learn from it, a lot to take from it, a lot of useful information. Make sure, with all these videos I do, go ahead and subscribe to their channels and, hit them up. As always, let's hop into it. All right, let's go ahead and run this one back from the top.
Videos. Somebody says, how do you acquire a buyer investors list? Just become obsessed and watch the videos that I put out. I got videos solely on that entire topic. So I would say dig a little deep. And that's what I mean with this business. You can't just ask all the questions and receive the answers. It wasn't even like that 3 years ago. And it's important to ask questions, but it's also important to go out and do a lot of research.
Guys, this is why I like Maxwell, right? So his response to a person's, question, how do you acquire a buyer and investor list? Go watch the videos I just put out. Right? I love that. Go watch the videos I just put out. That's real. You with this business, like you said, you asking specific questions. You can't expect to ask specific questions and always get specific answers, and let alone always get answers as it is. In this business, you're the type of person, if you're going to succeed, that you may even ask a question, but even when you ask that question, you're trying to figure it out yourself, and you will figure it out yourself before somebody else get back to you, or when they get back to you, you'll compare your answer with their answer. What I'm saying is you're self-sufficient in this business. It's good to, have people to speak with and, to, bounce ideas off of. I'm not saying that, you should be completely, in a crab shell. I'm not saying that. However, I do believe that, first thing first, and that's what your effort that you put out. That at the end of the day, what you eat don't make anybody else anything, and everybody understands that. So don't forget that in this business. All right. And then another thing too, when you are out there asking for questions and doing these things, make sure that before you ask a question, I really like to follow this. Before I ask a question, I've already tried to do everything I could to figure it out on my own. Because why am I going to impede somebody's day or take away someone else's time when I could have just put a little bit of effort forward to actually figure out that question on my own? So that's something, or I figure out that answer on my own. That's something that I do. I find that it helps me, and it finds that, it helps me because when I really figure it out and I really put the effort and I figure out how to ask the question the right way, working in Google, if you ask the question the right way in Google, 10 times out of 10, the answer will pop up. So just keep that in mind.
As research will take you a long way. It will allow you to go out and find the answers and learn how to solve the problem of finding the answer to your question, if that makes sense. And that in itself is an education process. So spend more time doing some research. I have people ask me simple questions sometimes. Hey, what's the difference between a HUD or this? And I was like, that exact question you asked, you can type it in Google and you can come up with an answer that is probably going to be better than anybody can recite to you. And once you're having a conversation.
And, the fact that he says that to people, or the fact that, he may communicate that to someone and maybe not even answer that kind of question, maybe not even give it his attention, that says a lot because, some people could look at that as something that, why is he like this? He is a certain, why is he like this, right? Maybe they look at that negatively, right? But at the same time, he's really doing that to help you, because you really, at the end of the day in this business, you can only help anyone as much as they're willing to help themselves. You can't put the work in for someone, right? So you only can help someone as much as they're willing to help themselves. And if you're the type of person that's asking questions to somebody that, you probably could get a lot of more value of asking a guy, like Maxwell, more valuable questions than something that you can just, Google, or something that's very simple that if you just put a little bit of effort in, that you will actually find that, answer. So don't just try to ask a question just to, get somebody to notice you. Ask a question because it's something that you just either can't figure out, or you're very interested on what their input is. It really tells a lot about your character.
Conversation with somebody, you may get it in layman terms, but I promise you, some great information out there completely for free that will help you when you're reading it, and when you see it, and when you see examples, will give you very, very good confidence. And I know some people will learn different ways, right? Some people need it all bundled up into a package and give it to them. And those are the people that would go out and get, mentors. And I believe that.
Guys, that's huge. Just to stay right there. As far as some people need it all bundled up, some people need it all broken down. Some people need to read it. Some people need, to listen to what they have to do, right? Now, I just made an entire video on what is your learning technique, right? So if you haven't seen it, go ahead and click that link up there, or the link in the description after you watch this video. I explained the 3 different kind of learning techniques, which are, either you're somebody who, needs to listen to what somebody says, like the school system. Most of that, once you get older in the school system, you start off, you as you get older, you're listening to what your teacher says, and it's all hypothetical kind of situations. And the hypothetical situations, they expect you to, translate that in the real world. But it's different, right? So that's one way, but also another way is reading. So you read something, right? You read instructions, figure out how to put a dresser up. But another way is being a copycat, like myself, right? I'm a copycat, meaning a visual learner. I'm a visual learner because I would see somebody do something. So a dresser, I would, rather than reading instructions word for word, I would rather see pictures of how to put it together, or just go ahead and YouTube somebody put the dresser together. But you may be able to put that dresser together just by reading it, or just by listening to how somebody else did it. You should learn your learning technique. Go ahead and watch that video either in the description or up there. This is very important.
That everybody should get a mentor at a certain point in time of their life. Doesn't have to be an entrepreneur mentor or anything like that. No, it could be a mind mentor, person mentor. There's so many different types of mentors. And when you get to the point in your business where you want to scale, that is, you want to get a mentor then too.
So, guys, what he's speaking about here, he said at some point in everyone's business, you should get a mentor, right? And he's saying this because some people at the beginning of the business, instead of taking that extra step, just extra, literally maybe one step to figure out things on their own, they're sitting back and they're leaning on somebody else to ask them questions, and to ask them a whole bunch of hypothetical things and expect them to answer it. That's why, I have another video for you guys. I'm not your mentor. I don't want to be your mentor, but I can help you wholesale real estate. And the way I can help you, I explain in the video that I will put either up there or in the description. But I'll definitely help you guys out, and I'll help you the way, my mentor helped me, which was basically, if I'm bringing something to the table, which just means, if I'm bringing a deal to the table, and, I'm getting, him to sell the deal, throughout the process, having his experience, having his knowledge will help, navigate the deal to closing, either if there's something that pops up with the seller, the title company, anything like that. I gained so much knowledge and experience just by doing it that way. And for him, it makes better sense because it's a better use of his time versus just answering everybody's question. Because, it can get not even overwhelming. It can get it can be boring and also just redundant. That's a better word. Redundant, just answering the same questions, because it comes a point where it's like, dude, you just got to Google this. If you just look it up, you'll figure out the answer. So just, be conscious of that when you're, trying to connect with people, like just show that you've done everything that you could possibly do. Don't let it just be something that just shows you don't put effort forward, because this will make you think you need a mentor, where if you just put effort forward, you won't even need a mentor. You probably won't even need the help that I can provide for you by either you clicking that link in the description or up there.
Right? I have several mentors, not just in real estate. I've just mentors in general, life mentors, financial mentors, real estate mentors. But you have to get to a certain point where you've proven to yourself, you've done enough research. You don't think your most mentors are not going to hold your hand and walk you down the yellow brick road. So don't trick yourself into believing a mentor is always the answer, especially when you're just beginning.
Well, guys, that was just a great video. Maxwell is a great, go ahead and connect with him. But that was, that's real right there. Don't trick yourself into thinking you need a mentor, especially when you're just beginning. Don't sit back and say, man, if I had a mentor, this would be so much better. Man, if only this person, look, can't nobody do anything for you that you cannot do for yourself. Like you said, can't nobody hold your hand, walk you down a yellow brick road, and walk you to your first deal. You have to be able to do these things yourself. At the end of the day, guys, it's really you in this business. You were born by yourself, and you more than most likely will die by yourself. As always, as long as your heart is in every step on your journey, you are already a success. Get to stepping.